Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Promoting Your Tourism Business Through Google and Meta Ads, a step-by-step guide. So happy that you could join us today. I see we have really strong numbers from all over the province, and really excited to get the knowledge that Liam's going to share with us today. So I really would encourage you to post your questions and answers in the bottom of the chat today. Anything we share or Liam shares, like software or any recommendations, we'll be sharing those links out and resources after via email. So you don't need to, kind of go off and check the software out. We like you to stay engaged. Ask those questions, put them in the Q&A, not the chat, but put them in the Q&A. We'll make sure they get addressed when Liam would like to answer those questions. Closed captioning is available on the webinar, so you can turn it on or off, whichever you prefer. And this webinar and all other webinars in the series are available. They are recorded. If you think today's session was great, you want to come back and watch it again, it'll be there. If you'd like to share it with an industry colleague, we would encourage you to do so. And if you'd like to go back and see some of our previous webinars, I would also encourage you to do so as well. We offer this webinar in partnership with Digital Nova Scotia, and hoping you accessed and signed up to the Digiport services. This is a website that has one-on-one interactive services. It's where all of our programming is available. It also offers one-on-ones that you can get from qualified service providers, and it's all meant for you to improve your online presence. So if you're not on Digiport, please go check it out. It's a free service. It's the only one of its kind in Canada. So go check that out. And the reason we're here today is to see SME Solutions. We have Liam Taylor here. Liam's given some great webinars over the years. He has lots of experience with tourism businesses and really sees it as a key industry moving forward. And he really wants to help with the solutions that your business needs. Liam is a one-on-one as well. So if you think today's great, you can book him for a one-on-one session. SME Solution manages all facets of your emerging and existing business concepts, specializing in the development of new business ideas from concept to execution. SME Solution are skilled in SEO, business planning, e-commerce, entrepreneurship, strategic planning, and digital marketing. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Liam Taylor from SME Solutions to share his screen, share his knowledge, and again, please ask questions throughout, and looking forward to Liam's information.
Thank you very much, Nick. I'm going to make sure that my screen is sharing. If for any reason you can't see it, please let me know.
We're good to go.
Okay, excellent. All right, welcome. Nick's already introduced me, so I'm not going to waste any more time on doing that, as we've got quite a lot to cover today. Suffice to say, I'm Liam, and we're here today to run through how to set up Google and Meta ads for your business, your tourism business. Today, we're going to go through a brief review of search engine optimization and pay-per-click, the difference between Google ads and Meta ads, how to plan your ad, what you need before you start, how to plan your ad, Google ads and their structure, Meta ads and their structure, and then we're going to touch on reviewing your results. I know that there were a few questions on how to monitor your results within after you run your ads, and I will review that briefly, but there's a whole other webinar opportunity to review that. So it'll be I'll be talking to Digital Nova Scotia about that moving forward. Now, a few of your comments when you signed up were focused on search engine optimization. And so I thought I'd start with a quick review of the main differences between search engine optimization and pay-per-click. So what are they and which should you use? They're both very different concepts, but they are focused on three key elements: your keywords, your product, and your audience, or your customers. So remember those three elements. We're going to be coming back to them again and again. We're going to start with search engine optimization and just defining search engine optimization is the act of producing content and optimizing your web presence to perform well in search engine rankings. It's also often referred to as natural or organic results. There are pros and cons to search engine optimization. It's very cost effective. You don't have to pay anything. This is all about what you put into your website, the content, and the way you organize your site. So there's no cost except for your time. Clicks are free. When you show up on Google, you don't have to pay Google for those clicks, and there are long-term results. However, it does take quite a lot of investment in time, and it also depends on how Google and Bing change their algorithms and their search algorithms. So although you might have long-term results, chances are maybe you'll drop down the rankings depending on what parameters Google ranks highly from one year to the next. Pay-per-click is advertising on search engines and social media sites to drive traffic to your site. And there are 4 types of pay-per-click you can see here on this slide: shopping, social media marketing, search engine marketing, and display marketing. And for the purposes of this webinar, we're going to be focused on search engine marketing, such as Google Ads, and social media marketing, which is the Facebook and Meta ads. As with SEO, there are pros and cons to marketing with pay-per-click. However, you can't really argue with statistics. And as you can see from this little nugget of information, it is one of the highest return on investment channels for marketers and advertisers, where you earn on average $2 for every dollar spent. So it really is you do get value for money. The key to marketing your website is to use both of these tools together: search engine optimization and pay-per-click. And you can see here on this, you have your long-term strategy with focused campaigns on your pay-per-click. And where do you see the results of search engine optimization versus pay-per-click? So when you put something into Google, let's see, on this example, for example, I put in bed and breakfast, Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, and you can see there are the sponsored or the ads, the pay-per-click ads on the left-hand side. And then as you scroll down, you would get the organic search results there, which you can see on the right. So you can see where they turn up. Sponsored ads always show up at the top of the page, and the organic results a little bit further down. So what is the difference between Google Ads and Meta ads? And I'm gonna run through a few of these differences, a little bit of what makes them different from one another. The key difference is that with Google AdWords, Google Ads, people are actively searching for something. Whereas with Meta, Facebook ads, the adverts are just presented to you. You know, when you scroll through Facebook and you've got an ad pop up, it's not like you're searching for that ad. It analyzes your behavior and shows you ads that it thinks are going to interest you. So Google Ads is user intent, and Meta ads is user behavior. And you are going to be sent the step-by-step guides on how to set up both of these ads they're quite long documents, but they are very detailed. So it will take you through exactly how to set up your Google AdWords ad accounts and your Facebook ads, your Meta ads. Before you start, it is essential that you have quite a few elements in place. Now with Google Ads, you've got to make sure you have 4 elements of the Google ecosystem set up within your account. You need your Google business profile, you need a Google Analytics account, you need a Google Search Console, and of course a Google Ads account. So you've got to make sure you have all 4 of those elements to ensure that your ads will run efficiently and you can monitor and evaluate how those ads are performing. Meta, in some ways, is actually simpler because within the business suite, you have pretty much everything that you need in order to be able to evaluate how your ads are functioning. But you will need a personal Facebook page, a personal Instagram account, a business Facebook page, and a business Instagram account, all linked within the Meta Business Suite. As I mentioned earlier, there are three key common elements to online marketing in general, and on online marketing, and in fact, all marketing, which need to be borne in mind at every turn: your service or your product, your customer, and your keywords. And before you even start an advertising campaign, you have to have absolutely clear in your mind these three elements, and then you need to prepare. And we're going to run through a little bit about how to do that today, so that when you come to running your ads, you have everything in place to make them effective. So we're going to start with your product. Now, unlike other services, other businesses, where a product is a material item or a tangible thing that people buy, products in a travel or tourism company aren't necessarily physical. However, the basic aim is the same. You've got to provide a product that people want. The tourism industry is very competitive, so you need to set yourself apart from your competition while providing a relevant product. And for all sectors, there are two key elements to your service or your product: the body of your product and the soul of your product. So the body are the tangible elements of your business, and the soul are the intangible elements. Some say the experiential products, such as you find in tourism, tours, experiences, aren't tangible, but I disagree. It's true that you can't take them home with you like a traditional physical product, but there are elements of your product or service that are tangible, and they're as important to the offering as a whole as a physical product. So an example of a tangible elements would be the physical properties, let's say a hotel room, a transport. The intangible elements would be the experience, the service, the pleasure, the satisfaction that people get, the trust they build with you. And one of your primary goals is to identify what the body and soul of your business really is. And to illustrate what I mean, let's analyze a couple of tourism businesses in Nova Scotia and the reviews that people have left for them. So here we have Salty Dog Tours, and let's have a look-see at what the tangible elements in. So what a wonderful time. Our guide was Jade. Jade is definitely tangible. The boat is roomy and comfortable. Definitely tangible. These are things that people remember. The intangibles would be such as Jade's: he answered all our questions. He too very knowledgeable. Great value. So these are the intangible elements of their business that people take away with them. Let's take the Sail-In, one of my clients here who isn't in the webinar with us today, which is why I'm using them. So the tangible service here would be the location was incredible. Was kept to a very high standard of cleanliness, the jacuzzi tub, the breakfast, the lovely host. The intangibles would be the history of the building, the wonderful views that the building can give you. So what you need to figure out, what are the tangible and intangible elements of your service offerings, and specifically for whom, which is what we're coming on to next. So who are your customers? And so we've covered what your product is going to be. You may have a number of different products, but key to making your ads as relevant as possible is to making sure they're being seen by your customers and making sure that they're tailored and your service is tailored to your particular demographic customer. Google and Meta can be incredibly specific when it comes to targeting. So many times when I ask my clients who their customers are, they say, well, anyone who wants to visit Nova Scotia. But that is absolutely incorrect. In some ways it's true, but you need to define specific customer types in order to market directly to them. And so we're going to just define your customer within 4 key elements. Their geographic segmentation divides the market into different geographical units, and you can take it down almost to neighborhoods with Google and Meta ads. Psychographic segmentation depends on their lifestyle, their personality, their characteristics. Demographic segmentation, which divides the market into segments based on variables such as age, life cycle stage, gender, income, occupation, religion, ethnicity, all those elements of your customer. And then behavioral segmentation, which is what does the customer understand about your products? What is their attitude towards your service? How do they use your product? and what is their personality when it comes to that product. So defining your customer allows you to target them more efficiently, and you may have more than one customer type. Something that I love to create and really helps bring a personality to your customers is to create buyer personas. So once you've defined your demographic characteristics, you can focus in on creating these buyer personas. They're semi-fictional representations of your customers. You break them into groups based on physical characteristics, preferences, and they've been proven to be highly effective. 82% of companies that use personas have improved their value proposition, and 71% have exceeded their lead generation and revenue goals through targeting these buyer personas. And once you know your customers inherently, you'll be able to create products tailored exactly to them and to their needs. I would start with 3 buyer personas and just play with them. It depends really very much on your business and where your focus lies. An easy way to start is to think about customers you've had who you really enjoyed serving, who were great customers, and take their characteristics and think, okay, what was special about them? I'm going to use 4 very quick examples of buyer personas when it comes to the travel and tourism industry. The first is the escapist. It's what I consider to be the millennial generation of travelers. Adventurous, yet they still like their creature comforts. Got to be connected to the internet, for example. And it's a growing niche, these adventure travelers. In 2016, almost 70% of all travelers of all age groups were planning on trying something new when they were going on their holidays or visiting new places. So this is a real growth element. This buyer persona. The learner. Now this is quite important with here. The learners value cultural and historically significant experiences, and they tend to ingest a massive amount of information in advance and during their trip. They want to understand the experience they're having, and they consider gaining knowledge as part of their experience as absolutely key. The planner, I'm guilty of being a little bit like this. They're thirsty for knowledge. They need to be prepared for the things they'll see, the people they'll meet, the activities they'll take part in. Their travel experience begins before they actually start their holiday, start their experience. They will be planning from the get-go. And I know that when I'm booking, I will plan out the trip so we know what we're doing every single day. The dreamer, this is the last example I'm going to include. The dreamer isn't particularly headed anywhere. The dreamer is just someone who loves the idea of traveling, doesn't have any specific plans, and they spend their spare time reading travel magazines, travel blogs, and they'll decide on the fly where they're going to go and what they're going to do. And I wanted to explain a little bit about how these buyer personas and the demographics are applicable within Google. So for example, as to how specific, this is the page which shows a new customer segment that you'll be creating when you plan your ads. And you can see you've got a segment name, then you've got, I want to target people with this interest or this purchase intention. It could be anything, could be kayaking, could be swimming, could be sailing, who knows? Or people who search for any of these terms on Google. So you can see that you're creating this buyer persona. What would they put into Google? What are they interested in doing? People who search for these terms on Google, people who browse websites similar to. So this is breaking down. This is where you're getting the ads that are just popping up. What sort of website would your target demographic, your target customer also be looking at? And Google can base their targeting on similar websites that your customers are looking at. And people who use apps similar to. So for example, let's say you're an experience, your service is an experience and it's a kayaking experience. You want people who use fitness apps like Strava, like Fitbit. You want to try and target people who use those sort of apps, who enjoy going out and doing exercise as part of their experience. Imagine your just imagine your perfect customer and think about what other sites and experiences they might be looking for. Now, not strictly speaking a tourism slide, but I wanted to show you a couple of buyer personas that a client of mine really went to town on and created these buyer personas with real personalities and who she could really identify with and have fun with. So we got Fred of the Finer Things, aged about 31. He's probably engaged, might be married. He might be working in a hospital. His income is about 55K a year. And his values and goals, he wants the best quality to his everyday life. And he worked hard to get where he is. So, I mean, you've already got this personality. The fact that she included little pictures here really helps her create and target these people. And then we've got Betty Big Bucks. So this is a slightly older, married or widowed lady, previously earned 80 to 120K, loves supporting local, wants quality goods. And you can already imagine this person in your mind. And that's exactly what you need to do to create valuable ads. So now we know what product or service you're offering and who you're offering it to. Let's delve into preparing your ad. And since search advertising is the go-to for pay-per-click, this next section is dedicated to the building blocks of your ads, keywords. So what are keywords? They're typically the words and phrases that your buyer persona is going to be putting into search engines looking for products like yours or experiences like yours. When defining your keywords, you need to make them as relevant as possible in order to make them cost effective. So for example, if you owned a boat tour business, if you were just to include tour as one of your keywords, your ad would show up whenever anyone put tour into a search engine. So boat tours, island tours, scenic tours. Basically, your ad would show up and cost you money when they'd be searching for just tours. So you need to use what are called match types. So you want to tell Google which keyword you're bidding on and what match type. A broad match here is the default match type, and it's the one that reaches the widest audience. Like I said, just using the word tour. It'll appear wherever the browser is or the audience is looking for a word that is included within your ad. The phrase match is a little more specific, such as it's like you've got a higher level of control with it, and your ad will only appear when a user queries your key phrase using your keywords in the exact order that you enter them. But there might be words before or after that. So boat tour, in the example here, we've got running shoes. And the exact match is the most specific and restrictive of the keyword match types. And I would very seldom recommend using broad match keywords. Always try and use phrase match or exact match. I had one client who didn't define their main keyword bed and breakfast. They were a B&B, and they spent a fortune on Google because their ad showed up every time someone searched for the word bed and someone searched for the word breakfast. So they were showing up when people were searching for mattresses. They were showing up when people were searching for breakfast recipes. You have to just focus in, use phrase or exact match where possible. There are a number of keyword generators out there when you're thinking about your keywords. I like WordStream, and Google has its own keyword planner within the Google Ads platform to help you. But the best way of finding some keywords is to brainstorm a list of core terms that represent words and phrases that your customers would use when searching for your products and services. Try not to use jargon that you would use. Try and think about things from your customer's perspective. What would they be searching for? Then you could plug them into a keyword research tool to get an idea of the volume, the cost per click, whether or not they're popular. And then think about your keywords and refining them to include call to action terms. So I would say, for example, let's say accommodation, book accommodation, booking accommodation, booking bed and breakfast, book room, in order to focus a little bit more on what people are searching for. A very popular term is best bed and breakfast in Lunenburg, best boat experience in Nova Scotia. And then when you've got your list of keywords, you try grouping them together a little bit in order to create, I would say, silos that you can then create specific ads for. And this is an example of Google's own keywords planner. You can see there, I input the keyword I wanted to use as the basis, which is accommodation. The location is Canada. And these are the various keywords that it showed me. And ideally, you would like to identify groups of 10 to 20 keywords that you feel really represent what your clients are going to be looking for online for your particular service or product, or one of your particular services or products. And much as I hate to say it now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention you can use AI, ChatGPT, to identify keywords from your competitors' sites. Now, I see we have Joe Grimley here. Hi, Joe. You weren't on the list of attendees, which is why I used Bayview Pines as an example here. But you can see I put into ChatGPT, extract keywords from the site, http www.bayviewpines.com. And this is the list of keywords it came up with. So you can go to your competitors' websites, extract their keywords, and form your own focus and your keywords around what they use as well, if you see them as being a successful site. It is an incredible tool. Please don't rely on AI to do everything for you. It is very obvious when people do that, and it doesn't often work. You always have to review what AI generates for you. So now you've got your product defined, your audience defined, and your keywords and phrases. It's time to create your Google ad. So the first thing you should do before you even consider running Google Ads is to ensure your Google business profile is up to date. You should review your Google business regularly, reply to reviews, post photos, as this links directly into your Google Ads account. So that was step one. Now you've got your Google business profile set up and up to date. We've reviewed a few of the different types of Google Ads, but here are the core networks. We've got the 3 core networks that are applicable to the tourism industry. I'm not including shopping ads here, selling items. So we've got search-based, display network, and YouTube ads, all within Google. So search ads. This shows text ads to users who are actively searching for the product you're advertising. So they put in your, well, in this case, for example, they put in, let me see, actually, what did I put in this? Sorry, I apologize. I put in things to do in Nova Scotia, apologies. And it came up with planyournovascotia.com, which links directly into Tourism Nova Scotia. So kudos to Tourism Nova Scotia there. That was the sponsored ad. This is what you're paying to get your ad right at the top of the page. And I think I should also include that within search ads, there is the hotels category. It's not strictly speaking a search ad. It acts in a similar way, and it is an offering from Google, which is Google Hotels. It's designed to make it easy for travelers to book accommodation directly with you. However, there are limitations. You almost always have to use a Google partnered online booking platform, which shares information directly with Google. And there are still costs with this, and they work by commission basis, they work on a click basis. It is expensive, but it can be worth it. It shows your rates on Google Search, Google Maps, and on YouTube. So here is a zoomed in version for a location in Lunenburg. You've got the Ashlia House Bed and Breakfast, you've got the Sail Inn, and you've got the Brigantine Inn and Suites. Display ads are Google ads that show up, and this is very much when these ads target your behavior use as well within Google. So Google's is called the Google Display Network. It reaches over 90% of global internet users. And while search ads target keywords, display ads like this one here, you can see popping up on the Saltwire website. Display ads target audiences, topics, and interests. And it goes under the term remarketing and is based on user behavior. And since Google owns YouTube, you can also use Google Ads to create video or static ad displays that appear on videos. Like display ads, YouTube ads are based on audience behavior and topics and have a number of different placements and formats. In the example here, I searched for vacation in Lunenburg and the ad that came up was Cheetos mac and cheese. But I was doing that in incognito mode when I was searching just to test it. As soon as I turned that off, I had a Shopify ad because obviously I had been searching for online shopping platforms. So moving on to the structure of your Google Ads. Now we understand your product, your keywords, your audience, and what sort of ads you want to run. Then we're going to look into the hierarchy of Google Ads. It can be a bit confusing and vary depending on sector and location. So today I'm going to break it down how they're organized for tourism, and I'll be using some examples. So once you have your Google Ad account, as you can see at the top there in blue, you then want to define your campaign level. But how do you define what is a campaign? And there are three different types of campaign. So the first is by product or service. So if you're a tour company, you might have a different search campaign for each different tour you offer, such as, say, a bike tour versus a kayak tour. You can organize it by the customer buying journey. This is something I've touched on in previous presentations, but tourism has, well, three elements of the buying journey: the dreaming, the planning, and then the booking. So your customer will dream about their holiday, then they'll plan their holiday, they'll go online, they'll research, and then finally they will book their holiday. So you could design your campaigns around which stage of this buying journey your customer is in. And then by location. So if you have more than one location, let's say you've got a restaurant in town A and a restaurant in town B, or if you want to do it by location based on where your customer is. So as we mentioned, there are three campaign types relevant to tourism: search and hotel, the display, and the video. And when you create your campaign that you've just decided on, Google will ask you to choose an objective. Now, depending on your objective, it'll then show you which campaign types are available. So with regards to the tourism industry, you could create some brand recognition during your customer's dreaming phase, at which point you choose brand awareness. Or if you're looking to convert your customer and create an online booking, your objective would be sales. Now, since the objective limits the options Google gives you next, we often say, okay, just create a campaign without Google's calculator. And that is without Google's guidance. And that is the bottom right there. So once you've organized your campaign around your product or the buying journey or the location, you can define your ad groups. Now, you have your ad account, you've defined your campaign, and you need to move on to ad groups. The important thing about ad groups is that they have similar keywords. If you remember when we spoke about keywords, I asked you that you should group similar keywords into groups, because you can then create your ads and focus them in on those keywords. So in this example, we've got Bob's Bistro. He's got his Google Ads account. He's decided he has two services. These are his two campaigns: his eat-in service campaign and his takeout service campaign. And they've got a number of specialty menu items, but one they're particularly proud of are their vegetarian options. So they've then split these campaigns into your eat-in vegetarian ad group and your eat-in non-vegetarian, and then the same with their takeout. They've created their groups of keywords, and you can see now that they have created ad groups around those specific keywords based on their campaigns and ad groups. So you'll notice they have two ads for each group of keywords, ad A and ad B. And Google does recommend you create a number of different ads to make sure that you can focus in on specific keywords. And we'll be discussing that in a little bit. You'll notice they also have specific landing pages. These are highly recommended don't just try and link your your ads to your homepage. It can really, it can break the chain of focus for your clients. So Bob's wife Brenda is also an entrepreneur, and she's got a bed and breakfast, and her two main products are queen rooms and family rooms. And her ad groups, which have similar keywords, are queen rooms with jacuzzi tub, and queen rooms with a sea view, and family rooms with a kitchenette, and family rooms with a sea view. So she has exactly the same setup, similar keywords, similar and landing pages based around those different ad groups. And not content with these businesses, our last example is Bob and Brenda. They're now expanding into tours. So they have their boisterous boat rides. They have two key campaigns, a whale watching campaign and a couples cruise campaign. And they've broken those down into educational whale watching, romantic whale watching, the couples cruise swim snorkel, and the wine tasting sunset cruise. All have similar keywords, and they then created their landing pages and ads from that. So once you've broken out your different ad groups, you know how you're going to organize it, you can define your ads. So moving on to the ads themselves, it's recommended to have at least 2 to 3 ads in every ad group. And here's an example. This is the setup page for your ad within Google Ads. And you can see it gives you the option of up to 15 different headlines and 4 different longer descriptions. Okay, so there you go, 15 headlines and 4 descriptions. And this is why. What Google does is it creates responsive search ads. So what Google does is it takes what the audience has put into the Google search engine, and it mixes and matches your ads to make it as relevant as possible for that customer and for what they've searched for. So it could take some description that's more relevant to their search term and some headlines that are more relevant, mix them up, and that is what they see as part of your ad. It maximizes the relevance to your client and improves the potential for a click. And this is a screenshot from WordStream, which I can highly recommend to get information on pay-per-click and search engine optimization. And it gives a few ideas such as distinct headlines, exclude keywords, vary the headline lengths, and I would go on to WordStream. You can get links onto this after this and just get a few ideas. They've got some great data there. Again, I should mention AI. So last night, I created an example ad, headline, description, and call to action, created using the keywords I extracted from Bayview Pines Country Inn and the Betty Big Bucks buyer persona defined by my other client. So it created an ad, created a number of headlines, created descriptions, and created a call to action automatically. And it says here, this ad is tailored to attract a senior audience with expendable income who values local quality experiences and motivated by exclusive vacation opportunities. Exactly the buyer persona I was looking for. As with all AI data, use with caution, use as a first step if need be, but refine, correct, and adjust. Always keep an eye on it. And landing pages. A landing page is a web page designed to persuade users to take one specific action. Landing pages are where you turn visitors into leads and leads into customers. Landing pages ideally should create a headline and a subheadline, a brief description of what is being offered in line with your ads, a supporting image to attract attention, and most importantly, a call to action, a book now, to direct your potential audience to the next step. And it's got to be kept really simple. I repeat, ideally, you do not want to use your landing page, use your home page as your landing page, because it forces the customer to then search around and find how to move on to the next step. So let's break it down into steps for Google Ads. I can't talk enough about how important it is to review your ads on a weekly basis. You need to start at a campaign level, identify your objective, choose your campaign type, specify your location and language, determine your budget, set up your keywords, design your ad, design your landing page, and then review, review, review. Review, revise, and update every week. So moving from Google to Facebook ads or Meta ads, there are almost 3 billion Facebook users at the moment out there. That's double the population of China, I believe. And on average, we spend 33 minutes on Facebook per day. So it is a valuable way of getting in front of your clients. And the ad structure is similar but different. There are a few significant differences to the way Meta is organized compared to Google. The primary focus of the Meta ad structure is the campaign. In Google, it's focused on your product, on your location. In Facebook, the campaign is focused on the objective. So think about Meta ads. Your campaign is focused on the objective. And you can see here that the objective is awareness, consideration, and conversion. It's the customer buying journey. Bear in mind the tourism customer buying journey. You could create a campaign for each of these stages. Awareness, that's the dreaming part of the tourism buying journey. Consideration, that's the researching part of the customer buying journey. And then conversion, which is the booking part of the tourism buying journey. So if we look a little bit more into that, I've identified dreaming. The objective is to get awareness of your business, awareness of the opportunity, awareness of your products or services in front of the client. So you're trying to get brand awareness, you're trying to reach out, you're trying to get traffic to your website, you're trying to engage with them. Videos and photos here are absolutely key. Then the next objective is the planning. So this is the consideration, and you're trying to convert these customers from just researching your services to converting and then booking. So you want to create leads that are actually looking for data within your site, within the planning side. Sorry, planning objective. And then obviously you've got the booking. The objective of this is to convert those who are dreaming and planning into customers and convert them into bookings. So once you've created your campaign, you've decided, okay, whether or not it's going to be an awareness or a research or a booking campaign, then you need to create your audience, your budget, and your schedule. So this is where the ad set comes in. Since the budget and schedule are defined by the business, each business will have their different schedule, a different budget. I'm just going to focus in on the audience. And this is, the audience. And there are 3 key audience types that can be targeted. Now, within Meta, you get the core audience. Now, we've already done this because you've created your buyer persona. You know exactly who your core audience is. And then you have custom audiences. So what you can do is you can retarget your core audience. You can try, because remember, Meta ads is based on user behavior. So these ads are popping up. We've all, researched websites for, I don't know, say shoes, and then you're looking on Facebook and all of a sudden you're getting shoe ads. Now, these are retargeted customers. And then there are lookalike audiences. So these are people that Meta deems similar to your existing customers. So you're trying to get people with similar interests, similar browsing habits, so they can also be potential clients. And I'm going to use a couple of campaign examples. So for Bob's Bed and Breakfast, I've broken down his campaign into the dreaming, planning, booking, tourism buying journey. So the awareness campaign, this is the dreaming. He is creating just general information about the area. In this case, this was part of one of my Cape Breton clients, and so it's all based around Cape Breton. The awareness is the beautiful Cabot Trail, facts and information about Louisburg, and it's trying to bring people into the Cape Breton mindset, making them aware of Cape Breton. Then he's got his planning campaign. Okay, so what to do in Cape Breton? So very specific. Okay, now you can do these different activities. And you're driving all this is to drive this audience onto your landing site and your websites. And then of course the booking campaign, this is where he's made these customers aware of Cape Breton. He's helped them do their research by saying, look, you can do these tours. And then he is saying, right, now let's convert you. Let's run a booking campaign where we can convert this audience into customers. So I'm going to use an example here. So once you've created the text and decided on images to use, that's one of the beauties of meta ads. You can use images and videos. You can create a number of different versions, and then you can publish them. You can have different ad copy, different text, different calls to action, and different ad media, and they can rotate. So the example here I've got is one that I did. One shows Lunenburg, or two show the views of Lunenburg. One shows the interior of the bed and breakfast we were doing this ad for. Or you can use Ad Creative and it will create your own ads for you. So using a variety of images and it will just put them together for you. Always make sure you monitor and review all of your ads before they go out. The amount of ads that I've seen go out with errors is unprecedented, and it really hits your credibility if the ads aren't coherent. Now, a number of people asked about how to monitor your results with Meta ads and Google ads. Sarah and Jenny, they asked about monitoring them and how to measure their success. Once your ad is set up, or your ads are set up, it's vital to ensure you're getting the right results. And there's a huge amount of reporting you can get, but it's a massive subject, and it's tricky to do within this webinar without using specific examples, because everyone's ads, they're going to have different goals, different objectives, but you can find within Meta a beautifully simple reporting system within the business Meta account, which gives you a huge amount of information at your fingertips. However, you will need to install the Meta Pixel on your website to create really useful data and to measure how effective your ads are being. It's a piece of code which, when you're setting up your account, Meta will give to you, and you can then put that within your page, and it will allow them to track the effectiveness of your ads. Google Ads has a reporting within its Google Ads platform, but it's far more useful within Google Ads to ensure that you have Google My Business, Google Search Console, and Google Analytics, to have the whole ecosystem within it, so you can monitor your natural, your organic search engine optimization results, as well as your cost per click, your paid advertising. So again, you'll need to make sure that you have your Google tag installed on your website, and to ensure that your conversions and what your objectives are for each ad are clear and have been correctly set up. So I know there's been a huge amount of data. I've left myself 5 minutes now for questions. So I am going to leave this on the screen. And I just want to reiterate that the step-by-step guides that you're going to be sent by Digital Nova Scotia, Tourism Nova Scotia, will take you through how to set up your Meta ads and your Google ads with screenshots. They're very simple, step-by-step, click here, click here, click here. They are very long documents because of it, but it is essential that you do the planning beforehand. It's essential that you can define your customer, create your buyer personas, have fun with them, ensure that you know what the product and service that you're offering is, and ensure that your keywords have been correctly tailored for your ad groups, so that your ads can be as effective and efficient as possible. And so at this point, I'm going to hand over to Nick, and let me see if there are any questions.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me?
Within the chat.
Can you hear me, Liam? You can't hear me. Um,
For some reason, I am unable to show the chat. Okay, here we go. Are the personas stored in Google, or do we need to build them with each campaign? You can create your customer personas, your target demographic, your segments, and you can maintain them within Google. But I would really encourage you to create a number of different personas offline, and then you can really focus on the best way and the best format and keywords to target those customers. Are Facebook posted posts ads? Not really. In general, I don't recommend boosting Facebook posts. They are not as targeted as they should be. So they do have some value, but when you boost a post, you don't get the reporting in order to find out how well your boosted post is performing. I really would invest more time into creating a structured ad campaign within Meta, and as opposed to boosting posts. Although there's something to be said for them. They're easy, they're quick, and you do get some coverage. Okay, let me see in the chat here. Anything else? What do I think about Rank IQ? I have heard of Rank IQ. I think I have used it a little bit. I don't know enough about it to be able to comment. That's something I'll look into moving forward. And I can, if you would like, you can drop me a note, and I can review it and come back to you with my thoughts on whether or not it's worth using. And Jennifer's can't post a question. Can you correct the ads once they've gone out? Absolutely, yes. So once ads have gone out, review them, see what's working. If you realize that your keywords have been incorrect, if you realize that you're not offering a certain service, or you want to update the ad, absolutely you can go in and correct them. Okay. All right. I will. Can you talk about shared audiences in Meta when collaborating on campaigns? Gwen, I think you mentioned this question within your within when you registered for the webinar, and I'm going to have to look into a little bit more about shared audiences. I don't know that much about them, so I'm going to have to look into this. So I'm sorry I can't give you an answer on that directly. Barry says, this is all very complex. Are we better off hiring a professional or attempting in-house? Barry, one of the great things about Google is they are very customer oriented. There is an offer on at the moment. Spend $600 with them and you'll get $600 worth of advertising. And with that, you will get a Google representative helping you set up your ads. You can have a look at my step-by-step guide. Again, make sure you have, before even thinking about it, make sure who your target audience is, what your service is, and get your keywords in hand. Whether you use a professional or attempt to do it in-house, you're going to need to get those things anyway. But if you do sign up for your Google Ads account, you will be given a Google expert directly from Google. And they can be quite helpful, but it really depends where you think your time is best invested. So whether or not, is your time best invested in renovating, in marketing in different areas? If you're not particularly technically proficient, then yeah, probably better to to get someone to contract someone in. And I know that there's often help for this through Digital Nova Scotia and Tourism Nova Scotia. There is funding available to help you market your businesses online. You'd have to ask them when they're next looking at offering any further incentives on that. Okay, any other questions?
Liam, I think that you're having trouble hearing me. But I'm going to take back over if anyone can or can't hear me.
Okay, so I will let Nick take over. Lena, I believe. There we go.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Liam. That was excellent presentation, and so happy that we could gain all that knowledge today. Very, very in-depth, but also complex. So love seeing that. So please, if you're interested to share it with someone else in the industry, rewatch it yourself, please do so. I also would encourage you to book a one-on-one with Liam through Digiport. Also, we have some open programs. So the digital content marketing program for the 24-year applications open until Wednesday, December 18th. So check that out. You can see it on Tourism NS's website. And our next webinar is Thursday, December 5th at 10, conversational AI tools. So that'll be really excellent, very topical information. And if you'd like to suggest any webinars for us in the future, you can reach us at tnsbusiness@novascotia.ca. Our corporate website is tourismns.ca. So this is where we would, where we would share any relevant information. Consumer website, novascotia.com. That's where we would share any businesses. That's our call to action. So when we have our digital marketing or we have our billboards, we'll encourage everyone to come to novascotia.com to check out the businesses and what's available when visitors come to Nova Scotia. Any relevant information can be found in our news and resources section on Tourism NS. Our corporate Twitter X is Tourism NS. And our corporate LinkedIn is Tourism Nova Scotia. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and have a wonderful day.